Hi, this is Josh Lehrer with Leica Store in Miami. Today's featured pre-owned product is the Leica Wide-Angle-Tri-Elmar-M 16-18-21mm with the Universal Wide-Angle Finder M. In 2006, along with the Leica M8 digital rangefinder, Leica introduced the Wide-Angle-Tri-Elmar-M to complement it. In the era of crop sensor cameras, it allowed you to have a pretty wide-angle lens. Now, of course, in the era of full-frame cameras, you've got the incredible potential to shoot up to 16 millimeters at 0.5 meters of focusing distance with a 107-degree field of view. It's pretty wide, great for landscape and architecture and all kinds of cool stuff. Now, the Wide-Angle-Tri-Elmar is an f4. It keeps it small, keeps it light, keeps it compact. And because modern digital cameras do so well at higher ISOs, 1600 plus, having an f4 maximum aperture really isn't that inhibiting, at least in my opinion. And of course, because it's so wide, you can shoot it at crazy slow shutter speeds. I've seen people hand hold this around a quarter of a second. Personally, I could say around a 30th or 15th, but depends on how steady your hands are. This lens is especially fun if you hyperfocal, let's say about a meter f11, all the way to infinity. It effectively becomes a point and shoot, no matter what camera you have it on. It has so much depth of field that no matter what you're shooting, no matter what camera, you set it up that way, and everything is in focus. Now, on an M camera, you may find that because the widest frame lines in the viewfinder are 28 millimeters, you'll use the Universal Wide-Angle Finder, which has frame lines from 16 all the way to 28 millimeters built in, depending on if you're using a crop sensor M or full frame M. It also has some parallax correction built in depending on your focus distance. Now, some people, yes, they like the optical viewfinder experience, and that's where the Universal Finder comes into play. But really, it's much more practical to use an EVF or VisiFlex, depending on the M model, to get a precise idea of both your composition and your focusing if you're doing that. Now, of course, on the CL or the TL2 or any of the 1.5 crop APS-C digital Leicas, this becomes basically a 24 to 35 millimeter lens, which is nice and it's small. Where it really shines, though, is on the SL or the SL2. If you don't want to grab the SL 1635, which is considerably larger than this, a Wide-Angle-Tri-Elmar becomes a pretty viable option on the SL and the SL2. You've got the great EVF, which allows you to see the wide angle in real time, and you have so much depth of field, it just, again, becomes almost a point-and-shoot lens. For interior work, architecture, landscape, this is really a fun way to have a compact, high-quality kit on the SL or the SL2. This particular lens is in fantastic shape, as you can see. Comes with the Universal Wide-Angle Finder in the box. They both have cases, paperwork caps, fully complete. And for me, this is a lens that's pretty viable, and even in 2020, again, because we have such great high ISO performance, it's nice and small, and I'd have no trouble using this on either an M or the SL2. And one of the things that makes it especially fun on the SL, SL2 is, despite the fact that it has firm click stops at 16, 18, and 21 millimeters, this is actually a true zoom lens. You can use it in between. It doesn't force itself to click over. It does actually work in between the click stops, unlike the previous version of the Tri-Elmar, which was a 28, 35, 50, which only worked at those click stops. The Wide-Angle Tri-Elmar works in between. So it is a true zoom lens. It's the only Leica-made M lens that is a true zoom for the M system. And on the SL, the SL2, or with an EVF, it's kind of cool to have that zoom experience on an M lens. So I would definitely encourage you, if you're using this lens, not to always be at one of the click stops, but play around in between and see if that works for you. If you want to check out this lens, you can go to leicastoremiami.com and do that. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos about cool pre-owned Leica products.